As the night's cold embrace tightened around the stark landscape of Icewind Dale, the party, victorious yet wary, decided to make camp amidst the remnants of their recent battle. The air, still tinged with the sharp scent of conflict, whispered tales of survival and the ruthless will to endure. Zenthor, his eyes as keen as the edge of his sword, surveyed the land with Finn's aid. Together, they traced invisible lines between the formidable silhouette of Kelvin's cairn and the whispering boughs of the Lonelywood forest, seeking to anchor themselves in the vast white wilderness. Their minds worked in tandem, crafting a mental map amidst the sea of ice and uncertainty. A dilemma gnawed at their resolve. The precious iron ingots, silent witnesses to the struggle that had unfolded, could not be abandoned to the greed of scavengers. Yet the thought of Garrett, alone and imperiled on the mountain's unforgiving slopes, spurred a sense of urgency that could not be ignored. In a land where every decision bore the weight of life and death, the group sought a plan that honoured both duty and compassion. Under Finn's guidance, a plan took shape. Beneath the natural ice bridge, once a goblin's lair of ambush and deceit, they concealed their trove. With deft hands and keen instincts, they wove a shelter from the wreckage of the goblin's wagon, the snow and ice becoming both shield and camouflage against prying eyes. In this hidden haven, the sled and ingots lay nestled, a secret kept from the unforgiving gaze of the Dale. Griffin, the soul of their melody and mirth, was entrusted with the solemn duty of guarding their cache. His figure, a steadfast sentinel against the encroaching darkness, stood watch over their hard-earned spoils. Zenthor, in a grim display of deterrence, turned the fallen goblins into grim totems. With methodical resolve, he removed their heads, setting them upon pikes at the entrance beneath the bridge, a warning, stark and unyielding, to anyone who dared venture near with ill intent. As the rhyme's chill deepened and the stars blinked into existence, the group settled into their makeshift camp. The night was a blanket of silence, save for the occasional crack of ice or distant howl of a predator. Underneath the indifferent sky of Icewind Dale, they found a moment's respite, a brief interlude with the relentless symphony of survival. As dawn broke, a mere whisper of light against the relentless dark of the Frost Maiden's rhyme, Matthias, Zenthor and Finn set out from their ice-shrouded shelter, leaving Griffin to stand sentinel over their hidden bounty. The world around them awoke to a muted morning, the tundra stretching endlessly, a sea of white silence beneath the pale sky. Their journey through the waking dale was marked by a spectacle of quiet wonders. A herd of reindeer, crowned with antlers aglow with their otherworldly light, moved like spirits across the frozen landscape. The sight, a rare embrace of beauty in the cold expanse, was a poignant reminder of the mystical nature of Icewind Dale, where even in the dimmest light, life endured with a silent resilience. Guided by Boy's eager strides, the group approached the looming shadow of Kelvin's cairn. There, the remnants of a halted expedition lay forlorn against the snow, a sled bound to 5 steadfast dogs and 2 tents, one standing as a sentinel, the other collapsed in defeat. With the caution of a seasoned warrior, Zenthor's voice broke the morning's calm, calling into the silent tents. The only reply was the soft sigh of the wind. Matthias, the silent hunter, moved with the grace of a wraith, his approach unseen by all but the keenest of eyes. He peered into the tent. Beneath a blanket, a large figure lay hidden, a mystery shrouded in the folds of fabric. Their second call into the chill morning air was met with movement. The figure within the tent stirred, emerging like a legend from the pages of forgotten lore. It was Bumblefoot, his presence as unexpected as the first light of dawn in the dale. As the morning sun fought to pierce the rhyme's veil, Bumblefoot shared his harrowing tale. He spoke of a treacherous quest given by Dazan, a search for an ancient, hidden structure, and of the cruel betrayal that followed. His tale of magical slumber, desperate escape, and the loss of companions unfolded like a dark tapestry before the group. Bumblefoot's reunion with his comrades was a moment of warmth in the biting cold. A flame kindled in the heart of the dale. His story, now woven into their own, was a testament to the endurance and spirit required to navigate the trails of Icewind Dale. With the day's light a rare companion above, they readied themselves for the climb ahead, the mountain's silent challenge ever present in their minds. Together, they stepped forward into the day, their path one of shared purpose and newfound bonds, each step a defiance against the Frost Maiden's cold rain. With dawn's light barely breaching the Frost Maiden's veil, the group, now bolstered by Bumblefoot's return, set their sights on the towering presence of Kelvin's cairn. The ascent beckoned, a silent siren's call, as they prepared to brave the treacherous paths that would wound like serpents up the mountain's flank. Finn, with the wisdom of the wild at his heart, transformed into the form of a wolf, his figure shifting and growing until he stood as a leader among the sled dogs. His new form, fierce and commanding, instantly won the loyalty of the pack, including Boy. The dogs, sensing the spirit of their kindred druid within the wolf, rallied to his side, ready to face the mountain's challenges. The blizzard's legacy, a blanket of fresh snow, concealed the tracks of those who had come before, but to the keen noses of Finn and his pack, the scent was a guide as clear as any map. Together, they led the group upwards, their paws sure and swift upon the uncertain ground. The path was a narrow ribbon of danger, bordered by the abyss on one side and the mountain's cold heart on the other. They encountered wild goats, sentinels of the slopes, standing upon a rocky outcrop, but Finn, with a growl that spoke of the wild's unforgiving law, sent them scattering into the wild, a small victory against the mountain's many guardians. As they traversed a wide slope of deceptive calm, the mountain voiced its challenge. A crack, a rumble, and then a roar. The avalanche, a beast of snow and fury, bore down upon them, a white wall of destruction. Matthias, with the grace of his elven lineage, sprinted ahead, his every step a desperate dance with fate. Finn, in his wolf form, led his pack to safety, their speed a blessing in the face of imminent peril. But it was Senthor, the stalwart paladin, who faced the avalanche with a defiance as fierce as the storm itself. In a moment of epic resolve, he turned to meet the oncoming tide, his shield and longsword raised high, he became a beacon of resistance. As the snow crashed against him, he stood firm, a testament to the unyielding will of those who walk the path of the light. Though the ice battered his form, his spirit remained unbroken. Bumblefoot, caught in the avalanche's wrath, fought against the snow's embrace. His attempts to anchor himself futile against the mountain's cold rage. He was swept away, a lone figure in the maelstrom. As the snow settled, a hush fell over the slope. Finn and his pack, now the only visible souls amidst the white, began their frantic search for the buried. One by one, they emerged from their icy prisons. Matthias, with a determination that defied his injuries, carved his way to freedom. Bumblefoot, fueled by a barbarian's rage, burst forth from the snow's grasp. And then there was Zenthor. Beneath the surface he struggled, his strength waning. But as the dogs arrived, their keen noses ready, the paladin summoned a final burst of strength. With a heave of might, his shield broke through the snow, a symbol of his enduring oath. The group, battered and bruised but alive, gathered once more. They took a moment to rest and tend to their wounds, and to steel themselves for the journey ahead. The mountain had shown its wrath, but they had endured. Together, they would continue their ascent, their resolve a flame that not even the Frost Maiden's chill could extinguish. After their wounds were tended and spirits bolstered, the group, with renewed determination, resumed their ascent of Kelvin's cairn. The mountain's shadow loomed over them, a constant reminder of the challenges that lay ahead. Finn, returning to his human form, led the group with a quiet resolve, the bond with the sled dogs evident in their unwavering loyalty. The path upward revealed a grim scene. A lifeless body, bloodied and broken, lay in the snow. Boy, with a loyalty that transcended even the grave, recognized his master and raced to be at his side. Zenthor, channeling the healing lights of his faith, knelt and breathed life back into Garrett. The man's eyes fluttered open, and his confusion gave way to a flood of relief as he was reunited with Boy and the kindly faces of his rescuers. Garrett, weary but eager to share his tale, began to recount the harrowing events that had led to his current plight. He spoke of guiding an expedition up the mountain when, without warning, they were ambushed by a yeti. The group listened intently, the gravity of his words hanging heavy in the air. But as Garrett's story unfolded, the mountain itself seemed to turn against them. Without warning, two crag cats, fierce and formidable predators of the dale, launched a sudden attack. Their ambush was swift and brutal, catching Bumblefoot and Matthias off guard. The creature's claws and teeth tore into flesh and armour with equal ferocity, leaving the two warriors grievously injured. In the face of this unexpected onslaught, the group sprang into action. Finn, his voice a conduit of ancient magic, cast a healing word that brought Bumblefoot back from the brink. Zenthor, in his every move a testament to his sacred oath, rushed to Matthias's aid, his sword a beacon of hope in the chaos. The battle that ensued was a desperate struggle for survival. Bumblefoot, fueled by a rage born of pain and determination, joined the fray with devastating strikes from his great axe. Matthias, though weakened and near death, displayed the courage and cunning that had seen him through countless perils. Together, They faced their feline foes with a resolve as unyielding as the mountain itself. As the group focused their efforts on one of the cragcats, Finn found himself alone against the second beast. The wolf form he had previously taken now echoed in his spirit, the primal fury and instinct guiding his actions. Garrett, Boy, and the sled dogs watched anxiously, ready to intervene should the tide turn against their friend. The cragcat advanced, its eyes locked on Finn, but the druid, undaunted, transformed once more into a wolf, his howl joining those of the sled dogs in a chorus of defiance. The display of unity and strength was enough to give the cragcat pause, and in that moment of hesitation, Finn struck, his jaws finding the creature's throat. Matthias quickly dispatched the cragcat that had attacked him, his dagger finding the throat of the wretched creature. The whole group could now turn its focus on the cat being pinned down by Finn in his wolf form. The cragcat, realizing it was outmatched, attempted to flee, but the group was relentless. Zenthor, with a burst of speed fueled by his sacred duty, intercepted the creature, forcing it into a corner. The cragcat, desperate and cornered, lashed out, its claws finding Zenthor's throat. The paladin fell, his life hanging by a thread. In this dire moment, Bumblefoot's attempt to aid his friend went awry, but it was Matthias, still fighting for his own life, who delivered the final, fatal blow. Finn, returning to his druid form, cast a healing word that closed the wounds on Zenthor's throat, saving the paladin from the jaws of death. As they regrouped, battered but alive, the group took a moment to catch their breath and tend to their injuries. The mountain still loomed above, its peak shrouded in mystery and danger, but they had to survive its latest test. Together, they would continue their ascent, their bond strengthened by the trials they had faced and overcome. The group, their bodies a tapestry of wounds and their spirits a mix of resolve and weariness, took a moment of respite amidst the cold embrace of Kelvin's cairn. Garrett, his eyes reflecting the trauma of his ordeal, shared the grim details of the missing party. A male Goliath, a female tiefling, and a female halfling, their fates uncertain in the mountain's merciless clasp. His words were a somber prelude to the perilous climb and the Yeti cave that lay ahead, a path that led ever closer to the mountain's enigmatic summit. Determined to aid Garrett and uncover the fate of the missing adventurers, the group steeled themselves for the ascent. The climb, a treacherous test of endurance and skill, was made navigable by Finn's transformative magic. As a giant wolf spider, his form an eerie silhouette against the snow, he scouted the path ahead, his spider climb ability turning the daunting ascent into a manageable endeavour. The Yeti cave loomed before them, a gaping maw in the mountain's side. Finn, still in his arachnid form, ventured into the darkness, his many eyes catching the faintest glimmers of light. He relayed the cave's layout to his companions through a series of precise leg movements. A large chasm, spanned by bridges of ice and stone, a path that forks into the unknown. With Zenthor's torch casting a small pool of light in the overwhelming dark, the group entered the Yeti's domain, a realm of shadows and silent threats. They crossed the stone bridge, stepping into a world where every sound echoed with ominous portent. The tunnel led them to a sight that chilled the soul. The remains of the Goliath, a testament to the Yeti's brutality, laid scattered like a broken promise. The walls bore shells carved from the ice, each a macabre display of frozen heads, the Goliaths and the dwarfs among them. The air was heavy with the scent of death and the cold, unyielding silence of the cave. Matthias, his elven heritage a beacon in the dark, moved ahead to scout the path. His steps, light and sure, carried him into the next chamber, where a scene of twisted play unfolded. An adult Yeti and its offspring, the latter rolling a terrified halfling across the cave floor, her fear a tangible presence in the oppressive air. The group, upon receiving Matthias's report, devised a plan that balanced the razor's edge between combat and caution. They sprung into action. Matthias slipped into the shadows to approach the halfling, while Bumblefoot and Zenthor created a diversion that shook the very air with its intensity. The Yetis, mother and child, responded to the intrusion with a primal roar. It was clear their only desire was the safety of the young one. Seizing the moment, Matthias, with a grace born of countless dangers faced, scooped up the halfling and made for safety. Bumblefoot and Zenthor, their own forms of a testament to bravery and might, followed close behind. As they retreated from the cave, the roars of the Yetis echoing behind them, the group felt a mix of relief and sorrow. They had faced the darkness of the mountain and emerged with a life saved, but the path ahead remained shrouded in mystery and peril. Together, they continued their descent, the tale of their ascent one more thread woven into the tapestry of legends that cloaked Kelvin's care. Upon hearing the roar of the male Yeti making his way up the mountain towards them, the group chose a path of caution and resolve. They knew the beast was returning to its lair, a place of danger they were keen to avoid. With a shared look of understanding, they turned their steps towards the summit, seeking both to evade the Yeti and to uncover the fate of the tiefling. The ascent was a silent testament to their determination, each step a defiance against the mountain's looming threats. The air grew thinner, and the world below stretched out like a vast frozen sea. But it was not the view that halted their journey. It was a scene of quiet tragedy that lay before them. At the edge of a crevasse, vast and unfathomable, a collapsed tent and a pair of blue leather boots protruding from the snowbank spoke of a story ended too soon. Beside this grim scene, a figure sat huddled in the snow, her horns a stark contrast against the fur-lined hood of her cold-weather clothing. It was the tiefling, the last of Garrett's party, her posture one of defeat and mourning. Finn pulled back her hood, but she too was frozen in place, another poor soul destined to spend an eternity in the Frost Maiden's embrace. Garrett, his heart heavy with the weight of loss and relief, mourned the friends he could not save. Yet, in the midst of sorrow, there was a glimmer of solace, the halfling's rescue, a small light in the overwhelming darkness. With the tiefling's silent vigil beside them, they turned their gaze outward, seeking to pierce the secrets of the dale. Bumblefoot, his connection to the land deep and intuitive, scanned the northern slopes. His keen eyes discerned unusual patterns in the vegetation, a subtle hint at hidden pathways, perhaps the mark of some ancient structure or unseen passage. His revelations stirred a sense of curiosity and foreboding within the group, a mystery etched into the very landscape. As day yielded to night, the horizon became a canvas for the Frost Maiden's display. The rime began to glow, its light not just a phenomenon of ice and air, but emanating from a flying creature, a spectral entity that soared through the twilight sky. The sight was both mesmerizing and ominous, a visible manifestation of the Frost Maiden's dominion over this land. With these revelations heavy in their hearts, the group prepared for the descent. As they made their way down the mountain's flank, the glow of the rime and the possibility of nearby secrets lingered in their minds, a call to future explorations and encounters. Garrett, ever grateful, took them by sled back to where Griffin and the iron ingots lay hidden, beneath the ice bridge. The loyal dogs, with Boy among them, greeted them with wagging tails and eager barks, ready to journey across the tundra once more. As they arrived at the location of the ingots, the group felt the weight of their experiences at Kelvin's Cairn. They had faced avalanches, battled cragcats and yetis, and uncovered hints of deeper mysteries within the dale. Their journey was a testament to their strength and courage, a narrative that would echo through the frosted valleys and ice peaks. The day's last light faded, and the rime's glow intensified, a reminder that in Icewind Dale, the adventure was never truly over.